Everybody in IT is getting fired. None of y'all here. Everybody's ranks getting stripped. All right, so everybody knows that I've been doing a lot of history classes. I dove into the semantic change of the word Gentile. I went into Israelites being dispersed into Africa and the ancient Near East influence in sub-Saharan Africa. Now today, being they came from the East, is dealing with the native Indians from North Central South America and the Caribbean islands. All right, so we just gonna dive right into it. I'm not gonna have everybody here all night. We're gonna go right into the PowerPoint. Then we're gonna read a paper. And yeah, from there, man, Lord be with y'all. I pray nobody's celebrating no pagan days. I know a couple of y'all Israelites off, fringes on the t-shirt, zeets hanging down from the four corners of something that's round. And you guys are taking shots saying happy new. Y'all know y'all doing it, man.
Happy fake here.
Happy Janice. All right, so let's get straight into it, right? Let's get straight into it. Hey, you know that's how they say it, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know they say it just like that. Fringes on the t-shirt and everything. A couple dudes with fringes on the pants do it too. Don't get it twisted. All right. And one's in the chat if everybody could see that nice and clean. Nice and clean. Kawan said the New Year's in March. You know, he knows he is a Pharisee of Pharisees, a man of the law. All right, we got ones in the chat. So you see, they came from the East. Let's get right into it. So I just wanted to show this real quick. Now, a lot of people will say the native Indians came here how? The Bering Strait. Now, these are just simple Google searches that actually show that a lot of scientists, archaeologists are now saying that a lot of the first quote unquote American Indians came here on ships and not through ice of the Bering Strait. There's a million studies on this. You guys can read through all of this to simply debunk the old theory of the Bering Strait. All right, just wanted to show this real quick. It's going crazy. So what I'm gonna do is with two parts of this presentation, I'm gonna just have to put it in a whole nother class. Probably, I'll probably teach in the next couple days, and then I'll show it. I wanted you to get this tonight, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm gonna just have to deal with it. Real quick, get Deuteronomy 33 and 27, and then we're gonna go back into the presentation. So once again, we're going into they came from the East. All right, they came from the East, talking about how Israelites came to the Americas. Dang, I wish I could have seen this tonight, man, but it's all good. Okay, read that.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 27.
17.
Verse 17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns.
Go ahead.
With them he shall push the people together to the ends of the earth.
So he's going to push the people together to the ends of the earth. Who is the people that's going to push the people together to the ends of the earth? Read.
And they are 10,000s of Ephraim.
They're going to be the 10,000s of Ephraim and what?
And the thousands of Manasseh.
And the thousands of Manasseh. This is the northern kingdom. And the top tribe, Ephraim, and his older brother is going to push the people to the ends of the earth. Okay? So let's just get into this presentation now. So Lakia for the wait. I appreciate the patience. All right, I'm gonna put this on the whole screen. Y'all need to see me, man. All right, so they came from the East. Now, once again, the first is showing and debunking what is known as the Bering Strait. Now, of course, they like to say the natives came from Siberia, going through the Bering Strait, came down through Canada and populated the Americas. But a lot of new research, a lot of new archaeology is showing exactly what we've been teaching and what I'm about to show you, that the natives said themselves, that they came here in ships. Now, this is a portion I can't play because we're having difficulties, but this I'm going to show you within the next couple, maybe tomorrow. I'm probably show you tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys this tomorrow, and I'm going to go into the oral traditions and exactly what the Navajo are saying. Okay? Let's get into this presentation right here. 1 second. Okay, so this is from Pre-Columbian Landscapes of Creation and Origin. You can read that for me, Brock?
Khan, it says all the major Kitchian sources are consistent in relating that the mythological founder fathers of the Kitchian nations originated from somewhere across the sea. According to Popol Vuh, the forefathers Balaam, is that
Balaam Quince, Balaam Akab, Mahu Kuta, and Ike Balaam came from Ka'apa Palo across the sea. Relent al Akich, which means where the sun emerges, that is from your east. So the very records of the Kichian, which is what we know today as the Mayan, and including the Aztecs, they said in their traditions, in their writings, that they came from where the sun rises, from the east, on boats. They're saying this. Okay, let's continue. Now, this is the Indian tribes of the United States, history of antiquities, customs, religion, art, language, traditions, oral legends, and myths. Now it says the Shawanos and Algonquin tribe have a tradition of a foreign origin. Now, if you look up the Shawanos, which is also the Shoshani or the Shawnee,
okay,
their symbol is a rose. How do you say rose in Hebrew?
what is
Shoshana. Okay, I'm just dropping that on you real quick. Okay, but let's keep reading it. It says the Shawanos and Algonquin tribe have a tradition of a foreign origin or a landing from a sea voyage. John Johnson, who was for many years their agent prior to 1820, observes in a letter of July 7th, 1819, published in the first volume of the Archaeological America, it just says it in Spanish, page 273, that they migrated from West Florida and parts adjacent to Ohio in India, where the tribe was then located. The people of this nation, he observes, have a tradition that their ancestors crossed the sea, that they are the only tribe with which I am acquainted with who admit a foreign origin. So once again, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, things is going to be established. So we have Central American Indians that are saying what? They came from across the sea. We have North American Indians that saying they came from across the sea. Okay? Let's continue. Now, we referenced this in the previous, but we're going to state it again. In the Popol Vuh are recorded the migrations and wanderings of their ancestors, notes Herman L. Howitt. It traces their origin eastward across the Atlantic Ocean to the Old World. Other Indians had similar origins, having to cross a great body of water from the Near East to reach their present land. Let's continue. Not going to be a long class, especially because I can't show you my videos, man. Yeah, you had a question?
Yeah. So is that the same Algonquin that's in Mass?
Yes.
And then does that disprove that there were people from Africa here before the colony?
No.
Or that's
it coincides with it.
Okay.
It coincides with it. So this is from Friar Diego de Landa. This is a primary historical account of the very first conquistadors that were going into the Maya. A lot of parallels that go back to the ancient Near East, that even go back to certain traditions, even on the west coast of Africa, that also go back to the ancient Near East. All of this is going to go hand in hand. Now it says, some old men of the Yucatan say that they have heard from their ancestors that this country was peopled by a certain race who came from the east, whom God delivered by opening for them 12 roads through the sea. If this is true, all the inhabitants of the Indies must be of Jewish descent. This is what the early conquistadors were saying, because they were observing the certain linguistics, they were observing the certain customs, the certain religious culture, and the traditions that all date back to the ancient Near East, and showing that they were of the 12 tribes of Israel. Khan?
Khan.
All right. Let's continue. Now,
The friars were the priests, right?
yes, the friars were the priests. Khan. Now, you can read that.
Khan. Mysteries of the Mexican Pyramid by Peter Tompkins, page 350.
This is a very good book to get. Go ahead.
After considerable research, she traced the upturned shoes to either the Hittites or their successors and imitators, the Phoenicians, renowned as great renowned
Want me
as,
to read, brother? You good?
renowned as great seafarers who
Renowned
regularly,
as great seafarers. Now, in future classes, I'm going to go into the locale of the Hittites, which is ancient Anatolia, and I'm going to go into the Phoenicians, and I'm going to show how these names and many times in history were interchangeable with certain peoples that were Israelites, that dwelled amongst the Hittites, that dwelled amongst the Phoenicians, that we also call the sea peoples. I'm going to show you all of this. So go ahead, read it again from the top.
Connor says, after considerable research, she traced the upturned shoes to either the Hittites or their successors and imitators, the Phoenicians, renowned as great seafarers who regularly wore long, clinging double robes, turbans with ribbons, pointed beards, and upturned shoes.
So you see that when you look on the right, a very image from Mesoamerica, you see that these certain wardrobes, these certain headpieces, all go back to the ancient Near East. That's even why here you have something known as ziggurats, which we also call step pyramids, that originated where? In Mesopotamia. All of these things go hand in hand. Keep reading.
So impressive is the evidence accumulated by scholars to the effect that the Phoenicians reached the shores of both North and South America. It is hard to understand why it continues to be shunned.
You see that? So this history continues to be shunned. They don't want to talk about the certain migrations from the old world that came here. They don't want to talk about none of the technological advances that's not just here in the Americas, but of course, also in Africa. They don't want to talk about the great and vast kingdoms, especially that was created by the Israelites. Khan?
Khan.
All right. Let's continue. Now, if you look at the left, Israelites with upturned shoes and the certain wardrobes is also on the black obelisks. You even have the certain Maya figurine that I have to the right with the breastplate and a turban. All of this has to take into account so you can understand who these people are that came here. Okay, let's continue. Now, this is from a short account of the destruction of the Indies by a man known as Bartolome de las Casas. If you claim to be an Israelite, buy this book. Within this book, it goes into Central America and it goes into the Caribbean, and every single curse that is listed in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15, going all the way to verse 68 is in this book. Every single one. Now I'm going to go into a certain account in this book and also show you something prophetic strictly to the northern kingdom in the book of Hosea. Now go ahead, read that. It says a short account of the destruction of the Indies by Bartolome de las Casas. And if anybody needs the PDF, I also have the PDF.
Sure, book. Says they forced their way into native settlements, slaughtering everyone they found there, including small children.
Now, this is specifically happened in the island that we call the Dominican Republic today. This is where this is taking place. Go ahead, read it again.
It says they forced their way into native settlements, slaughtering everyone they found there, including small children, old men, pregnant women, and even women who had just given birth. They hacked them to pieces.
They what?
They hacked them to pieces.
They hacked these women, children, old men to pieces. Go ahead.
They hacked them to pieces, slicing open their bellies with their words, Salah, with their swords,
Yeah,
As
I
the-
think I spelled it wrong. You good look.
as though they were so many sheep herded into a pen. They even laid wagers on whether they could manage to slice a man in two at a single stroke, or cut an individual's head from his body, disembowel him with a single blow of their axes. They grabbed suckling infants by the feet and ripped them from their mother's breast, dashing them headlong against the rocks.
So they took babies and dashed their heads on the rocks. Now look at Hosea 13 and 16. Now, matter of fact, read Hosea 13 and 15 first. Read that one first.
Hosea chapter 13 and verse 15. Though he be fruitful among his brethren, an east wind shall
So
come.
though he be fruitful among his brethren, an east wind blows from east to west. Where did the conquistadors come from? From the east towards the west. So an east wind was going to come to the northern kingdom. Go ahead.
The wind of the Lord shall come up from the wilderness, and his spring shall become dry.
And the spring is going to become dry. Go ahead.
And his fountain shall be dried up. He shall spoil the treasure of all pleasant vessels.
So he's going to spoil the treasure of all pleasant vessels. All of these great kingdoms of the Americas were going to fall. Read the next verse.
Samaria shall become desolate.
Samaria is going to become desolate. The northern kingdom of Israel. Come on.
For she hath rebelled against her God.
She rebelled against her God. Come on.
They shall fall by the sword.
They're going to fall by the sword. We just read that. We just read that in this book. Read.
Their infants shall be dashed in pieces.
The infants are going to be dashed in pieces. Look what it said. They grabbed suckling infants by their feet and ripped them from their mother's breast, dashed them headlong against the rocks. Let's read the prophecy again. They shall fall by the sword, their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their woman with child shall be ripped up. This is exactly what Bartolome de las Casas recorded. A prophecy within the book of Hosea, showing you exactly who these people were. You can't, these are certain things you can't deny. Let's continue. Now, in this book, the 10 tribes of Israel, historically identified with the Aborigines of the Western Hemisphere, written in 1836 by Barbara Ann Simon. Now, look at this part. It says, Don Bartolome de las Casas. Las Casas was firmly persuaded that the Indians were descended from the Hebrews. He said that. Let's go on to another part. Read that for me.
Says the words in reference to the Mexicans and other Indian tribes, whom we took to be real Hebrews, deserve the most serious attention, because we have the opinion of a person who was well acquainted with the Mexicans and Peruvians, and who proceeded to America immediately after its discovery by the Spaniards, spent there by the greater part of a long life, and solemnly recorded in a testamentary document his conviction of a fact which he might have had many reasons for not choosing to divulge. Las Casas even goes as far to say that the language of the island of Saint Domingo was corrupt Hebrew.
You see that? So from the Mexicans to the Peruvians to Saint Domingo, which is Dominican Republic, he's saying that they are speaking a corrupt Hebrew, that they had customs of the Israelites. I didn't make this up. This is what is being taught by the very people who landed here. Let's continue. Now, you see the price of this book, right? It's $2,000. This is Clark's commentary, the Holy Bible containing the Old and New Testaments with the commentary and critical notes. Now, let's go into a certain part of this book. Now, this is dealing with 2 Kings 17:5 through 6. In this book, read that for me real quick, Barack. Let's read 2 Kings 17:5 through 6. Let's see why is this book $2,000? Let's see.
2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 5. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halat and in Habor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Medes.
So it's talking about the dispersion of the northern kingdom. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Now, it says right here, now this is the commentary within this book of 2 Kings 17, 5 through 6. Let's see what it says. It says, besieged in 3 years, it must have been well fortified, well provinced, and well defended to have held as long. Now, let's zoom in a little bit. Read that, Barak. Read that for me.
It says, carried Israel away into Assyria. What were the places to which the unfortunate Israelites were carried, or where their successors are now situated, have been given rise to innumerable conjectures, discourse. Some maintain that they are found on the coast of Guinea.
Some maintain that they are found on the coast of Guinea. Where's that?
In Africa.
It's Africa. What part of Africa?
The west.
The west coast of Africa. So we're saying there are some that are on the west coast of Africa. And where else?
Others in America.
And where?
In America.
And others in America. This is in a commentary for the Bible. This ain't black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
Finish it up.
The Indian tribes being descendants of those carried away by the Assyrians.
The Indian tribes being the descendants of those carried away by the Assyrians. Right here in this book. Let's continue. Now, everybody should know this. This is what is also known as the Chief Joseph Stone by the Nez Perce Indians in the Midwest. Now, what I have on the left is the exact article, the very first thing that this was recorded, the primary source. In the middle, I have exactly what it looks like. And then on the right, I have the certain drawings that are said to be cuneiform language from Assyria in the Midwest. Now look what it says. Read that for me. Where it says, this according
to Professor Robert Biggs of the University of Chicago, is a common type of tablet from a southern Iraq site called Jahim, a livestock center 4,000 years ago, where this kind of transaction took place all the time. An was a god, Nana was the moon god. The receipt was written in the 4th year of the king Amarsin, which makes it about 2042 BC.
So that's fine, right? We'll stop there. So what this is a tablet from a purchase of a sheep for sacrifice that they're dating 4,000 years ago, right? Is that date accurate? I can't say if the date is accurate or not, but what's the point? To show something that comes from Assyria right here in the middle of America. Why is that? How did that get there? Let's continue. Let's show something else. Now, another cuneiform text dating to the same period as the Chief Joseph tablet was found by a certain Mrs. Joe Hearn in 1963 when she was digging a new flower bed in her Georgia-located home. Suddenly, she hit something hard, and it turned out to be a cuneiform tablet. This text records a receipt of a sheep and a goat for offerings to the sun god Utu. A third cuneiform find is called the Quaker City Tablet and was found in 1978. All three objects are confirmed to be authentic by well-known Assyriologists. So you have one in Georgia, you have one in Ohio. What can you make it?
Can't make it up.
Like, what's going on here? How did these Assyrian tablets get here? I need somebody to break this down to me. Somebody needs to tell me, Yawa, you wrong. The information you reading is wrong. You bugged out. Nah. Somebody has to make sense of this. Now, unfortunately, I cannot play this video. I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to play this video tomorrow. But everybody could prepare yourself and look up the Father Crespi collection. What I will do is, right, I will do this for you. Right? We're going to go to the paper. Excuse me. We're going to go to the paper. Right? That's what we're going to do. Now, this is, do you have it?
Yeah.
I sent it to you. This is the ancient artifact collection of Cuenca, Ecuador. So now we're going to South America. So you see, you have North American Indians saying they came from the East. You have Central America saying they came from the East. You have accounts of the Caribbean islands saying that they're speaking certain corrupt Hebrew and a direct prophecy that's lining up with the Dominican Republic and things that happen throughout the Caribbean islands. You have Assyrian tablets all throughout North America. All of this is being said. Now, let's look into something. And once again, I'm gonna find a way to play this video tomorrow, and I'm gonna read this article again tomorrow. Okay? So go ahead, read that.
It says, Father. This says, Father Carlo Crespi, who comes from Milan, has lived in the small town of Cuenca, Ecuador, for more than 50 years. He is a priest of the Church of Maria Auxiliadora. Crespi was accepted by the Indians as a real friend. They used to bring him presents from their hiding places. Finally, the father had so many precious objects stored in his house and the church that one day he received permission from the Vatican to open a museum. This museum in the Salesian school of Cuenca grew and grew until in 1960. He said you're muted on Clubhouse.
It's fine, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about what other people. Salakia, I know people trying to help, but we trying to flow. Salakia.
Okay. And Crespi was recognized as an archaeological authority, but he always has been a rather embarrassing servant of his church, for he asserts vehemently that he can prove that there was a direct connection between the old world, Babylon, and the new world, pre-Inca civilizations.
So now they're linking certain things that are in Babylon with certain things that they find in Ecuador. Now, since I can't play it, we're not going to read all of it because I don't want to spoil it for tomorrow.
No.
But since I can't play it, all right, since I cannot play it, I'm not going to get into all of it today. I'm going to get into some of that tomorrow. Now, while I am here, if there's any questions from Clubhouse, you can put it in the chat. If there's any questions from, you can also put it in the chat, and I'll deal with it like that, and then we're going to close out. Salakia for the wait, Salakia for the technical difficulties, but I can't show you everything I wanted to show you today. So if there's any questions, shoot away. If not, we will be closing out. And I pray nobody's going to say Happy New Year's in a couple hours. You wicked Israelites.
Just tell them happy fake here. Tell them that.
Hey, stop looking through the article, Barack. Stop. Man, you cheating, brother. There ain't no questions, man, you know?
Class tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to definitely do class tomorrow. My good brother Dan from Clubhouse going to get a nice text message. Hey, brother, make that room again. Fade is the illest troll ever. I refuse to look at that message. All right, man, we're going to close out. So, call it.
So Psalm chapter 2. Why do the heathen rage and people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers taking counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then he shall speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree the Lord hath said unto me. Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Bless him, or all the way that put their trust in him. In the name of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, the Wadatham Yad, Aman.
Aman.
Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakadah.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatham.